Imagine ending a marriage in a way that feels almost unreal. No deep talk, no long call, just a package sent off like a return item. That's the story people keep repeating about Trevor Engelson and Meghan, where a wedding ring reportedly showed up in the mail instead of a goodbye in person. Some call it cold, others call it calculated, and either way it's the kind of detail that sticks in people's minds and refuses to fade. To the public, it looked like a sharp Hollywood-style exit, but to Trevor, people speculate it may have felt like something much deeper, something more strategic. He wasn't just an ex, he was someone who knew Meghan before the spotlight got blinding, before royal titles and global attention changed everything. That earlier version of her is what keeps fueling all these conversations. Trevor was around during the early grind, back when auditions were uncertain and success wasn't guaranteed. He saw the ambition up close, the drive that pushed through rejection after rejection. People who claim to know that era often say he witnessed a side of her that the world rarely talks about now, a version still shaping itself, still building a future step by step. And that's where the whispers begin to get louder. There's long been chatter about gaps in Meghan's early timeline, moments that aren't clearly documented. Nothing unusual on its own, plenty of people have private chapters, but when someone rises to global fame, every missing detail suddenly becomes a topic of debate. Some online discussions have pointed to a period in her youth that feels unclear, often described as a time of self-discovery. But critics and rumour circles sometimes push further, suggesting there may have been relationships or experiences not widely known. It's important to say clearly, these are unverified claims. They are not confirmed facts, but they continue to circulate anyway. One of the most talked about rumours involves a supposed early marriage. The story, as it's told in gossip spaces, paints a picture of a very young Meghan making a quick, impulsive decision in Las Vegas. Again, there's no solid public evidence confirming this, but the rumour keeps resurfacing in discussions about her past. In those same circles, people claim the situation was quickly resolved and quietly erased from official records. That idea of a reset is what grabs attention. Whether true or not, it feeds into a bigger narrative people like to build about reinvention and image control in Hollywood. Then the story takes an even more dramatic turn. Some speculation goes further, introducing claims about a child from that time. This part is especially sensitive and completely unverified, yet it's often repeated in online forums and gossip threads. According to these rumours, a child may have been raised away from the spotlight, living a private life far from media attention. Let's be real, there is no credible public confirmation of this, and it's crucial not to treat speculation as fact. Still, the persistence of the story says more about public fascination than it does about reality. People are drawn to mystery. What keeps these theories alive is the idea of missing years. Fans and critics alike try to piece together timelines, noticing quieter periods and wondering what was happening behind the scenes. Sometimes there's a simple explanation, sometimes not. But curiosity fills the gaps quickly. If any of these rumours were ever proven true, they would completely reshape how people view Meghan's journey. That's exactly why they spread so fast. They challenge the polished image and suggest a more complicated backstory. Meanwhile, Trevor's role in all of this adds another layer. He's often described as someone who could, in theory, speak on the past with authority. Over the years, there have been reports that he's been approached for interviews and deals, but he's largely stayed quiet. That silence, people interpret it in all kinds of ways. Some say it shows respect and maturity. Others think it's strategic, like holding on to a story that could change everything if told at the right moment. Either way, his decision not to speak publicly has only made the speculation louder. Another idea that keeps popping up is the so-called vision board story. According to some commentators, Meghan was very intentional about her future, even visualizing the life she wanted long before it happened. Whether that's normal goal setting or something more calculated depends on who you ask. Ambition itself isn't the issue. Plenty of people dream big and plan their path, but when ambition meets mystery, people start connecting dots that may or may not belong together. That's exactly what's happening here. The bigger picture being painted by critics is one of reinvention, of someone carefully shaping a public identity, while leaving certain parts of the past behind. That idea fascinates people because it touches on something universal, the desire to move forward without being defined by earlier chapters. Still, there's a difference between growth and secrecy, and that's where opinions split. Supporters argue that everyone has the right to privacy and change. Critics argue that public figures should be transparent. The truth likely sits somewhere in between. What really keeps the conversation alive is the human element. If there were ever hidden relationships or untold stories, they wouldn't just be headlines. They'd involve real emotions, real connections, and real consequences. That's what makes the topic feel so intense. And then there's the media machine itself. Once a narrative starts gaining traction, it builds momentum fast. Each new rumor, each new insider claim adds another layer. Even if none of it is fully verified, it becomes less about proof and more about possibility. Trevor's silence, again, plays right into this. People see it as a missing piece of the puzzle, something that could confirm or deny years of speculation. But silence doesn't equal confirmation, it just leaves space for interpretation. At the same time, Meghan's public image continues to evolve. She's spoken about her experiences, her values, and her journey in her own words. That perspective matters just as much, if not more, than outside speculation. Still, the contrast between her polished public life and the rumors about her past creates tension. That tension is what drives endless debates. And online discussions. People want clarity even when there may not be a clear answer. It's also worth remembering how easily narratives can spiral. A single rumor can grow into a full storyline when repeated enough times. That doesn't make it true, it just makes it familiar. The idea of a hidden past is powerful because it taps into curiosity and skepticism at the same time. People want to believe they're uncovering something real behind the headlines, but reality is often less dramatic than the stories built around it. Public figures live complex lives, but not every gap or rumor points to a secret waiting to explode. As for Trevor, his role may always remain a question mark. Whether he ever speaks out or not, the speculation surrounding him shows how much people want an inside perspective. They want confirmation or closure. In the end, this entire narrative says as much about the audience as it does about Meghan. People are drawn to stories of transformation, mystery, and ambition. They want to understand how someone goes from one life to another so completely. There's also a deeper theme here, how much of our past defines us, and how much we're allowed to leave behind. That's a question everyone wrestles with at some point, just on a much smaller scale. For Meghan, the scale is global. Every decision, every chapter, every rumor gets magnified. That level of attention can turn even ordinary life events into major talking points. And that's exactly why these stories keep resurfacing. They're not just about facts. They're about perception, identity, and the gap. The gap between who someone was and who they've become. At the center of it all is a simple truth. People want answers. Whether those answers ever come, or whether they even exist in the way people imagine, is another story entirely. Until then, the mix of silence, speculation, and curiosity keeps the conversation alive. And as long as that continues, the narrative will keep evolving one rumor at a time. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Monarchy Cup for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world.